Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and this is C++ from scratch. So in this episode of the series, we're going to be talking about another one of our smart pointers in C++, and that's going to be our std shared pointer. So in our last video, we looked at our std unique pointer, and we use this for unique ownership of some, say, dynamically allocated piece of memory, or some object. Now, the nice thing about using, say, a smart pointer like this was that we didn't have to worry about freeing this memory when we were done with it. When we were done with our shared pointer and say it went out of scope, it automatically freed our memory for us. But one of the things we often want to do inside of our programs is have multiple pointers to the same piece of memory. So we want to have kind of shared ownership over some object. And we want to make sure that that object, say, isn't freed until we're completely done with it. So there are no more references to this object. Now, we can't use unique pointer for that because that's for unique ownership. It's kind of managing this memory's lifetime on its own. And we don't have to resort to something like raw pointers, right? Then we have kind of no guarantee that that memory will get freed. So one of the things we can use in modern C++ for this is our std shared pointer. And our std shared pointer is for this kind of co-ownership of some resource. So we can see here on the right-hand side of the screen, the CPP reference for shared pointer. It says that std shared pointer is a smart pointer that retains shared ownership of an object through a pointer, and that several shared pointer objects may own the same object. So with our shared pointer, we have this kind of guarantee that our memory is not going to be freed or deleted until there are no more references to that memory. So until that last shared pointer, say goes out of scope or decides to release, say, what it's owning, that memory is going to stick around, right? It can't be deleted by someone else. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at today, kind of the basics of creating and using these shared pointers and playing around with them. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll create, say, a new file here called sharedpointer.cpp. And inside of here, we'll include a couple things. So we'll include IO streams so we can do some printing, and then we'll also include memory again, right? So just like our std unique pointer, our std shared pointer is defined in the header memory. And then after this, we can, of course, create our main function. So let's say we want to kind of co-manage some dynamically allocated array of integers, just a simple example here. So one way we could create this with a shared pointer is just by creating a type, right? This std shared pointer type. Let's say we want it to manage, say, an array of integers here. So very much the same syntax as a unique pointer, just swapping it out with shared pointer. We can create a variable name, say pointer1 in this case, and we can pass that the pointer to the object we want the shared pointer to manage. So say an allocation for 10 integers here, right? So we'll just do new int 10, right? So this dynamically allocated array of 10 integers. And that's all we need to do to create a shared pointer. So we've dynamically allocated some memory, and we're asking our shared pointer to manage it or co-manage it with other shared pointers. So unlike our unique pointer, we can create a shared pointer to the same piece of memory. So I can do something like auto pointer2 is equal to pointer1, right? So now I have two shared pointers to the same piece of memory. I have two references to this array of 10 integers that we've dynamically allocated. So this is something we can't do with unique pointer because unique pointer is for solo ownership of, say, some resource. But our shared pointer, we can have multiple pointers to the same resource and they'll co-manage it. So this array of 10 integers will only get freed, right, or deleted when both of these shared pointers kind of go out of scope or release this memory, but not until then. Okay, so we've talked a decent bit about, how we have, multiple shared pointers kind of co-owning things. And as part of the member functions for our shared pointer, we can even see a use count. So we can keep track of, the number of shared pointer objects referring to the same managed object. So in this case, right, we have two shared pointers co-owning this array of 10 integers that we've dynamically allocated. So we can go ahead and print out that use count, and we should see 2. So we can go ahead and do std cout, and then we can print out, say, reference count, and then we'll print out either pointer1 or pointer2. It really doesn't matter in this case. The both will give us the same value. So we'll just print out, say, pointer1.useCount to see how many shared pointers there are co-managing this resource, and then we'll print a new line afterwards. So let's go ahead and save this, and we can compile this with G++. We can call our output executable something like shared pointer. And then let's go ahead and run our executable here. And we can see that the reference count here is 2, right? We have 2 shared pointers co-owning this dynamically allocated piece of memory. And if I were to get rid of, say, this, pointer 2 right here, then I just have a single shared pointer here managing this memory. So I can go ahead and save this, recompile, and run it, right? And you can see now the reference count is 1 instead of 2. Now, we can use our shared pointers much the same way as we can unique pointers in terms of doing things like indexing. So you can see we have this indexing operator right here. So indexed access to the stored array. We have methods like reset, swap, and get, just like we kind of did with our unique pointer. And one of the other things we have, very similar to, say, our unique pointer, is we have std make shared, just like we have std make unique. Now, the kind of equivalent form to make unique is really only supported in very modern C++, so since C++20. And that's where we can say, oh, I want a shared pointer to some type, and I want an array of, say, in of that type. So just like we kind of got rid of our new expression with our make unique, we can do the same thing with make shared, but only in very modern C++ and with our modern compilers that support it. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that out and use this make shared, right, to get rid of that new expression inside of our code. Okay, so we can go ahead and bring back our pointer 2 here, but let's go ahead and get rid of this shared pointer type. Instead, we'll use automatic type deduction, and let's get rid of this new int 10. And instead of this, we'll use std make shared, and we'll give it this int array type because it's an array of 10 integers. And let's pass 10 here. So we're still going to make an array of 10 integers for this shared pointer right here. Forgot the equal sign, put that in there. Right, so this is only going to be supported in very modern C++ and with C++20. So by default, my compiler on this machine, if we do G++-version, is GCC or G++11. So it doesn't even support it. But I also have G++12 on here. And this does support this very modern feature or form of make shared. So let's go ahead and compile with G++12 instead. So we'll do G++12. We'll pass shared pointer.cpp and then -o shared pointer. And then let's set the standard equal to C++20, right? Otherwise, it'll probably complain at us. And you can see it compiles just fine, right, with this very modern compiler. And when we run it, we see this reference count of 2. So we were able to completely get rid of that new expression. And just like with make unique, we were able to use this make shared to get access to a dynamically allocated array of integers through a shared pointer. And again, we're making, say, copies of that shared pointer, so we can pass those around as well. Okay, so that's some of the basics of this shared pointer and how we can use kind of make shared. So it's another way we can have kind of safer memory management in C++ without resorting to, say, raw pointers and manually managing that memory. Instead, we can defer our ownership to these smart pointers or, in other cases, just our STL containers. But that's going to go ahead and do it for today. I'll link down the CPP reference pages below the video, and you can find this or any of my other examples at github.com/coffeebeforearch. But like I said, that's going to go ahead and do it for today. As always, I'm Nick, and I hope you have a nice day.